So I've got a confession to make. Right now, I'm riding a bike with just 11 gears, and so's Vic. And nobody's died yet. Let's get into this. Okay, so this all started about the same time where almost every GCN show was talking about, should you go one by? And I think 3T actually released a bike, I think it's called the Exploro, and they tried to push it on a pro team. If I remember, it didn't go too well. They kept dropping chains in sprint finishes, and lots of pro riders swearing about it. But I thought, well, I've got a cyclocross bike, it's one by. Let's just take the power meter off my bike, fit it onto this with a 44 tooth chainring, and give it a go. And this is where I ended up. For the bottom bracket geeks amongst you, this is actually a PF30 bottom bracket, but it's 86mm wide, and it's a GXP crankset. So work out how I did that. Hambini, you can probably get yourself off the floor. Stop laughing at me now. It does work. The chain line, I think, is like a 49mm chain line, and all the gears work absolutely perfectly. Now, I really do like Quarq Power Meters, by the way. This has probably been the most robust and accurate power meter I've ever owned. Thoroughly recommend them. But the gear ratios I'm running, this is a 44 at the front and a 10 through to 42 at the back. And this is fine for the majority of riding. Took it to Mallorca, did over 1,000 kilometers on it, perfect. Hills around Cumbria, it's a little bit on the high side. Probably switch down to something like a 42, especially in the winter. Vic is riding a 42 on her bike and gets on with it absolutely perfect. It maintains that nice 1-to-1 gear ratio. So yeah, all I'd say is don't dismiss it, give it a go. There's lots and lots of advantages. The things I do really like about one-by systems is it's really quiet. You never hear your chain slap against your chainstay. You never hear it rub against the front mech because there isn't one. It's just beautifully quiet all the time. Okay, back home having a brew. It was such a cold ride today and I completely forgot to film the conclusion. But what I was trying to say is, would it suit you as a rider? Well, that very much depends on what it is that you're trying to do. Now, I think it suits an awful lot of people, but the question I always get asked is, do I spin out on descents? And the answer is, well, yes, I do, but it's not very often and it's not for very long. So on my top pedaling speed, i.e. about 95 revolutions per minute, so quite a fast cadence, is around 49 kilometers an hour, which is fast enough for me. Normally if I'm going much faster than that, I'm on a descent. Might do a little bit of accelerating to try and catch up with someone, but for endurance rides, sportives, which is what I tend to ride these days, it is absolutely fine. Would I lose position in a race? Probably. Would I be able to keep up with a big peloton if I was in such a situation? Probably, but I really don't do that type of ride, and it tends to be sort of quite hilly sportives and cycling holidays in mountainous parts of the world and that sort of thing. So I don't miss that 50-11 or 52-11 at all. And when I go back to it, I realise that on the rare occasion that I do actually flip into that gear, it's normally out of sort of crest in the hill exuberance. You know, you got over the hill, yeah, now it's time for the descent, get it into the big ring, click, 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 click. I'll probably spend 20 seconds in that gear, if I'm completely honest. Give it a go. Next time you're out there, just see how long you actually spend in that top gear. And if you are in that top gear, how long do you actually spend in what I would call a meaningful cadence, i.e. not grinding out 60 RPM in some sort of stubborn mashing the pedals thing. If you're doing a good 80 to 90 revolutions a minute, I doubt many people are actually pedaling even a 50-11. But please prove me wrong, that's what we're here for. So add your experiences down in the comments. This is, as always, a start of a 10. I am quite liking the one by setup for what I tend to ride. I think I'd definitely put it onto my next bike. Would you do the same? Let me know. Right. I think tonight there is a football game on, so I hope this keeps you entertained for at least a couple of minutes. And until the next time, take it easy and have a fantastic weekend.